Hi, good morning once again. Without wasting much of our time, we have to start the class. Please, can you hear me, please? Am I
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Okay,
We can
good.
hear you,
Okay,
sir.
okay. So, permit me to share my screen.
Go ahead.
Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We are here for
Not
getting
yet, sir.
once again. So, in our previous lectures, we were taught so many things, ranging from study session 1 to study session 2. Let me just recap what we were taught. In study session 1, we discussed the introduction to leadership skills, whereby Dr. Fajobi taught you the definition of leadership, the difference between leadership and management, then the characteristics of a good leader, as well as the importance of leadership. Then she moved on to study session 2, whereby you were taught the styles of leadership skills. So in the style of leadership skills, you were taught the types of leadership style, then the theories of leadership style, as well as the leadership model. So in this class, we discuss diversity in leadership. So diversity in leadership. So this is a very important topic as far as leadership skill is concerned. When you are talking about diversity, diversity is just a subject that can be very, very powerful and emotional for everyone who deals with either directly or indirectly. So let me just quickly say something about diversity. When you hear the word diversity, what comes to your mind is diversity simply means differences. Do you understand? So diversity simply means what? Differences. So now, how do you now relate diversity to leadership? That's the next line of action. So when you are talking about diversity in leadership, you should be talking about the diversity in thought. Do you understand? Diversity in thought. And this has to do with the leaders of every organization, be it profit-making organization or non-profit-making organization. You should understand the fact that when you were taught in study session 1 and 2, not all managers are created equal. Do you understand? But the great ones always have those key qualities. That's you were taught the traits of what? Of leadership.
I just collected
So
from my
that made them effective leaders. Do you understand? So they are highly proficient in communications. They are critical thinkers. Those are the characteristics of a good leader. They adapt at the decision making. You understand? And they can solve any kind of problem that comes to their way. You understand? And they are highly efficient when it comes to what? Running a team. So those are the characteristics or the trait of a good leader. So diversity in leadership means diversity in thoughts. Let's say, for instance, when you look at
you are disturbing the class.
Please, you are disturbing us.
Mute them now.
So when you are talking about diversity in leadership, you will be talking about diversity in thoughts. Do you understand? You know, let me give you an instance. If you have a management team of 10 or 7 or any numbers, if they come from different backgrounds, if they have different culture, different race, do you understand? Their thoughts might be different too. So that's what we mean by diversity in what? In leadership. Compared to when you have a management team of 10, do you understand? And all of them comes from the same background, they have the same age, they have the same demographic, and they have the same race. So there's no diversity in their leadership style. They will have the same thoughts. But as far as every organization is concerned, you must have a diverse leaders for you to achieve the organization objectives and goals. Now, let me now try as much as possible to explain what we are to do in this particular topic. So on the completion of this study session, you should be able to explain diversity and list the keys to management in an organization. Then you should be able to describe the organizational performance, do you understand, and workplace diversity. And last, you should be able to discuss the keys to managing diversity. Let's start with the first learning outcome, which is the diversity. So I've said something about diversity before, you understand? And once you hear the word diversity, just have it in mind that diversity simply means diversity in what? In thoughts. It's just it's a differences. Do you understand? It's a difference in thoughts. When you have a leader and they have differences in their thoughts, in the way they are thinking, in the way they are approaching to a particular problem. So that's what we mean by what? That's what we mean by diversity. There's a strong connection between leadership and diversity. However, one of the greatest challenges facing organization is getting all employees to realize that to become the best, they have to embrace diversity. So diversity refers to the variety of personal experiences, values, and worldviews that arise from differences of culture and circumstance. You can see what we are saying here is that if you look at the word diversity, diversity comes in different forms. You might diverse in culture, you might diverse in race, might diverse in religion, in ethnicity, and some other things. Do you understand? So that's what so far you diverse in all these things that I've just mentioned. Automatically, you have different thoughts. Do you understand? You have different thoughts. So the differences we are talking about here include race, ethnicity, religion, national origin, gender, age, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, as well as socio-economic status. So leadership is about empowering people. So we have been taught this before. Do you understand? Bring out the best in order by making them feel accepted, respected, and connected. When people are involved in the decision-making process of every organization, they feel respected, they feel accepted, and they feel connected. Do you understand? And they were able to give out their best to the organization objectives. When people feel good about themselves and the organization, they perform better. That's just the truth. You see, we have some organizations, they will just look at their employees. The best performing employee, they will just exclude that person from others. They will give that person what we can reverse to as mod con. Do you understand? They can try as much as possible to give that person's children scholarship abroad. Do you understand? That's to promote the effort of that particular employee. So diversity means more than the race or gender of a team or organization. Do you understand? Diversity is all around us. Communication style, geographical location, and sexual orientation, as well as work style, life experiences, ethnicity, personality, are all elements of diversity. That's exactly what I just explained. Do you understand? When you look at the word diversity in leadership, do you understand, means greater depth and breadth of experience and perspective. You know, when you have an organization and that organization have 5 executive leaders, do you understand? The organization has 5 executive leaders. Do you understand? The implication is that these leaders, you look at their percentage. Do they have any diverse nature? Do their race differ? Do you understand? Do their ethnicity differ? Do their religion differ? If their religion,
please, you're breaking.
And some other things, if it differs, automatically you say that
everybody, we don't
diversity exists in that particular organization.
Okay, please.
So Diversity in leadership means greater depth and breadth of experience and perspective, which in turn allow for a greater ability to relate to employees and clients. Do you understand? When you have diversity in leaders in an organization, relationship between the employee and the leaders will be smooth. Relationship between the leaders and the client will be smooth. That's the major reason why we must have diverse leaders in every organization. So experience, perspective, and relatability facilitate innovation. When you have experienced leaders and the leaders are very perspective in their thoughts and they can relate very well. So this will facilitate innovation, which is a critical factor to capture and maintain market share. Do you understand? So that's the reasons why we must have what? A diverse leaders. Now let us quickly move to the leadership and diversity in the workplace. It is important to understand that diversity is not a focus on belief or sex. Yes, and nor is it a focus on law. So diversity has nothing to do with belief. It has nothing to do with sex, and it has nothing to do with what? With law. That is why look at the word sex. When you have an organization, you must balance what is referred to as both gender diversity. Do you understand? In corporate governance, you know what corporate governance means? It's a system in which the organization is being directed, controlled, and managed. Do you understand? When you have both gender diversity, that is the ratio of females to what? To male in the leadership structure, that's the both gender diversity. When you have males and females in leadership structure, automatically it will enhance and promote organizational objectives and goals. Do you understand? So, in order to create and maintain an inclusive environment that speaks to all employees, soft skills are essential, the most important of which is leadership. So leadership is very, very important in every aspect of what? Of an inclusive environment. You know, when you are talking about inclusive environment, that is an environment whereby race, ethnicity, religion, and some other things, they have space in that particular environment. Not that you have an organization now say, it's only Yoruba that I will be employed as my leaders, as my leader, or only Igbo, or only Hausa, do you understand? But if you have diverse leaders in this particular organization, it will enhance and promote your organizational performance. Effective leadership empowers all persons, regardless of race, sex, or religion, and inspires desires and the ability to work together towards a common goal. If a company can manage this, it will be able to be more effectively manage diversity. You know, the importance of diversity is much more than what? Than its negative impact on every business. What I mean is the positive impact of diversity in every business organization is much more than what its negative impact. So if a company can manage this, it will be able to be more effective in managing diversity. An effective leader challenges himself to appreciate the differences of others and sees them as potential drivers to change. So when you are a leader, maybe you are from Yoruba land, you understand? So other sense I will promote you. So now, what I'm trying to say here is that if you look at people with different communication ability, for instance, can be diverse. Autistic people are known for driving in repetitive tasks, which is an especially valuable skill set in today's data-driven work environment. What do we mean by autistic people? Do you understand? So what do we mean by autistic? Autistic people are those individuals in which people with experience deficits in their ability to develop, maintain, and understand relationships, as well as difficulties adjusting behavior to fit social context. So those are the autistic people. Do you understand? Autistic people, they experience deficits in their ability to develop, maintain and what? And understand relationships, as well as difficulty adjusting behavior to fit social context. That is the reason why they made reference to the fact that these autistic people are known for driving in repetitive tasks. You can see in repetitive that if tasks are not repetitive, there will be a problem, which is an especially valuable skill set in today's world, data-driven work environment. These skills help uncover insights into customer behaviors and business trends, and can lead to discovery that alter how a company operates. In the future of work, diversity will not be an option, but an imperative to sustain in our global fast-paced economy, where never just one person owns and knows the truth. Look at the Nigeria federal government structure. You know, we have House of Assembly, House of Representatives, and we have the federal executives. Do you understand? That's, if you look at our House of Reps and House of Senate, politically, we have a diverse House of Reps. Do you understand? We may have PDP there, we may have APC, we may have SDP, AAC, and so on. Do you understand? So in their religion, we don't have just single religion leaders there. So we may have Christianity, Islam, then we have what other kind of religion that you can think of. Then when you are talking about their culture, they have different culture. Do you understand? So those are the diverse nature that we are talking about. Although it doesn't mean that when you have diverse leadership style, there won't be a problem, but the problem will be minimal. Do you understand? So now, what we are saying here is that for us to have a global business-oriented people, we must have a diverse nature. For us to have a fast-paced economy and progress, we must have a what? We must have a diverse nature. So let's quickly talk about the keys to managing diversity. These differences that we are talking about, what are the areas or what are the important keys for us to manage the diversity that can exist in an organization? So in the long run, they help in retaining all employees rather than having them opting out. You know, when we are talking about diversity, we'll be talking about, in this course, we put more emphasis on the organization. But diversity cut across the entire economy. That's the truth. So, but in this particular study session, we focus on what? On organization diversity. So the first key to managing diversity is acceptance. Acceptance, that's the first thing. So when you are talking about acceptance, look at the statement here. They said true teamwork occurs only when a complementary set of strengths come together in a coordinated whole. In this case, what they are trying to say here is that they are talking about synergy. Do you understand? They are talking about what? Synergy. So in synergy, the implication is that if you add 2 plus 2, the result will be what? 5. You understand? If you add 2 plus 2, automatically 2 plus 2 is 4. That's the normal thing. But in synergy, 2 plus 2 is always greater than this normal sum. Do you understand? What do I mean? Look at the margin of banks in the recent years. Stanbic IBTC, Standard Trust Bank merged with United Bank of Africa, that is UBA, to become UBA. Do you understand? So the Standard Trust Bank, they will put down their resources. Do you understand? The United Bank of Africa, they will put down their resources. When they now merge, they will now combine those resources together. But don't forget that they combine their resources together. What about the expertise, the skills that they have? So the skills will now make their synergies to be what? To be greater than the normal sum. You know, when let assume United Bank of Africa has 2 billion naira in its account, and the Standard Trust Bank has what? 3 billion. When you add 2 plus 3 billion together, that is what? 5 billion. But you are not adding their expertise and their skills alongside with the margin. So that is why in synergy, the sum of the individual part parties may be greater than what? The normal sum. So that is why the true teamwork occurs only when a complementary set of strengths come together in a coordinated whole. That is, you have to ensure that every team members are come together to achieve the organization goals and objectives. Most team buildings theories work from the same premise. With assimilation, individuality, and those set of complementary strengths are lost. Thus, the team loses its power. When the teams find it difficult to come together, automatically there will be loss in power. That is exactly what is happening in Nigeria, for instance. Do you understand? We have a diverse nature in the House of Reps, House of Senate, and some other things. Do you understand? But there is no acceptance. If one person has a very good intention, do you understand? People will not accept it. Do you understand? So by contrast, more strength is gained by accepting people with differences. So differences we are talking about is the opinions, culture, beliefs, and education. But the reverse is the case. So, but if a person feels accepted, they will be more motivated to support the organization goals and mission. So that is why when you have an employee in an organization, try as much as possible to accept their opinions, to accept their culture, their beliefs, and education. They will feel more accepted and they will be able to give out their best to the organization goals and objectives or to the organization success. So that is that about the acceptance. Let's quickly move to the second one. So in the second one, we have so in the second one, we have what is referred to as respect. So everyone has something unique and special about them. Respect is demonstrated by first acknowledging then value those unique qualities and ultimately utilizing the differences of individuals towards a common goal or mission. You have to respect the opinions of people. You have to respect their culture. Don't feel that you are a Muslim. You should not respect other people's religion. Do you understand? You have to respect people's religion. You have to respect everything that pertains to a particular person. So if a person feels respected, automatically that person will feel that he has some unique quality, and the person will be free to utilize those qualities. Do you understand? In order to bring these gifts to the surface, it sometimes requires taking the time to get to know people and listen to their viewpoints without letting go or personal bias get in the way. So people must be respected. So for you to be managing diversity in an organization. Last but not the least here is connection. So connection is the major difference between a group of people and a team. A group of people may work in the same office, but independently without interaction or reliance on each other. So we have a group of people. Let's say, we have different functional areas in every organization. We have marketing departments, we have accounting departments, we have human resource department. Do you understand? Let's say in marketing department, there are a group of people in that particular department, but they might not be a team. Do you understand? So a group of people may work in the same office or in the same department, but independently without interaction. They might not have any interaction with each other. They will just say, okay, I've done the document that you asked me to do and take it to the person. That's all. No interaction. They do not even rely on each other. So individuals in a group are focused on achieving their own goals. And the goals of organization are secondary. What do I mean? Now, if you are working as a group in an organization, the main motive is to do what you are required to do and leave the others for them. Do you understand? Your primary aim is to satisfy yourself, not the aim of the organization. Your goal is your primary objective of the organization. Why the main objective of the organization is secondary to you. So, but when you are talking about a team, however, is a group of individuals with common goals and objectives. They have the same goals and objectives. Do you understand? So they help and aid each other, working together towards the accomplishment of those goals and objectives. When people feel connected, they can turn a group of disconnected individuals into cohesive team, striving towards the same goal. What they are saying here is that when you have a team is always strong. It's always very difficult to scatter a team. Let me give you an instance. Look at the G5 that we have presently in this country. All the 5 governors that they come together as a team. Will you believe that they achieve their aims of being together? But for the fact that they are in a team, it is very difficult for anybody to break that particular team, because they have the same common goal and objective. That's the power of being a team. So using leadership skills to promote these simple values can have an incredible impact in creating an environment where everyone, regardless of who they are, where they were born, or their educational background, feels welcome and supported. So in essence, what we are trying to say is that you have to respect the opinions of others, and you must ensure that diversity in leadership, which simply means greater depth and breadth of experience and perspective, which in turn allows for a greater ability to relate to employees and clients. Do you understand? So this diversity in leadership should be taken cognizance of. Do you understand? Should be taken cognizance of. Let me quickly tell you some things about this diversity that we are talking about. When you are talking about diversity in leadership, you should be aware of a particular people known as demographic. Do you understand? Demographic. That is, what are the demographic characteristics of the leadership structure in this particular organization? When you have an organization, look at their demographic characteristics of leadership structure in that particular organization. Let me give you an instance. If you have in your organization, you have 10% of the executives, they were from Yoruba land. Do you understand? 80% of the senior managers, do you understand? They are from Yoruba land. If you look at that percentage, you may think you have a diverse characteristics among the leaders, but these diverse characteristics that we are talking about, that you might even think of, is not to the scale. What do I mean? There will be a problem. 80% of the senior managers are from Yoruba land. 10% of the executives are from Yoruba land. Others are maybe Igbo and Hausa. That is not the diversity nature that we are talking about. There will be a problem. Is that clear? So you look at the demographic characteristics of the leadership structure in an organization. Why is diversity in leadership important? That's the next question. We've been talking about diversity, the key to manage diversity. Why is it important? Why do we even need to manage diversity in an organization? The first very thing that you must think of is that your leadership sets the tone. What do I mean? Every aspect of, in every organization, let me do something. We have 3 levels in every organization. We have strategic level, we have strategic level, we have tactical level, and we have operational level. Do you understand? So these are the 3 levels that we have in every organization. If you look at the strategic level, all the strategic decisions are made at this level. If an organization is planning to get another plant in another place, that particular decision must come from what? Strategic level. They call it top level. So the next to strategic level is tactical level. Why the next one to tactical level is what? Operational level. In operational level, every operational decision are made at that level. Do you understand? So now, why is diversity in leadership important? That's our question. And we said the leadership, they are the one that are saddled with the responsibility of what? Setting the tone. They are the one that will make strategic decisions. They are the one that will make tactical decisions. And they are the one that will make operational decisions. Automatically, we need a diverse structure. So work processes and company culture are traditionally guided and influenced via a top-down approach. So if you lack diverse leadership structure in your workforce, you are not going to make any real part of it. Do you understand? So you need this particular diverse leadership style or leadership structure in your organization. Do you understand? So now, so to make a progress in every organization, you must ensure that the organization has a diverse leadership structure, because it is your leaders that will set the tone. Okay, Martin Mahmouda, you want to ask a question?
No, sir.
I'm listening. Martin, you raised your hand, or should I go on? Okay. So in the absence of Stella Nwagozi, what's the question?
Please, sir, you are too fast. I barely understand the diversity, sir. That's my problem.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So what we are saying here is that when you are talking about diversity, I've said it many times, you be thinking of the differences, maybe in thoughts. Do you understand? Diversity simply means differences in what? In thoughts. And I explain so many things that will help you to understand what diversity is all about. Do you understand? The first thing that I said is that I said when you are talking about diversity, the first thing that comes to your mind is their demographic characteristics. Do you understand? We have a leader in an organization. You know, when you have a leader, you have executive leader, you have senior managers and some other things. You look at the total number of leaders leading that particular organization and look at their demographic characteristics. Let's assume we have 10 leaders in that particular organization. 3 of them are from Yoruba land. 5 of them are from Igbo land. And the remaining 2 are from what? Are from Hausa. Do you understand? We have a diverse leadership style. Do you understand? We have a diverse leadership style. And diversity that we are talking about means greater depth and breadth of experience and perspective, which in turn allows for a greater ability to relate to employees and clients. You know, we said something the other time. I said, not all managers are created equal, but the great ones always have those key qualities that make them what? Effective leaders. And what are the characteristics of being an effective leader? You must be highly proficient communicators. You must be a critical thinker. Do you understand? You must adapt to a decision making. and you must be able to solve every problem that comes to your way. And you must be highly efficient when it comes to running a team. Those are the characteristics of being a leader. Then when we are now talking about diversity in leadership, I mean diversity in what? In thoughts. That's why I made mention of a management team of 10 individuals, all hailing from different backgrounds, has a higher likelihood of what? Of developing ideas that covers a broader spectrum. Do you understand? This is compared to a management team composed of one category of person. One categories of what? Of person. Same age, same demographic, same race, and same background. You can see that in the first categories, we have a diverse leadership structure. In the second categories, we don't have any diverse nature at all, because they have the same age, they have the same demographic, they have the same race, and they have the same background. Exactly. So in leadership, you must have a diverse leadership structure. So now, I now said, why is diverse? I made mention of the key to manage diversity. Do you understand? So I said acceptance. Do you understand? So I made mention of what? Acceptance. I made mention of what? Connections. Do you understand? So when you are talking about acceptance, you should accept opinions, beliefs, culture of others. Because when people feel accepted, they will be able to give out their best. Is that clear? So then I made mention of another thing. I made mention of connection. Do you understand? When people feel connected, that's where we made mention of team. Do you understand? So when people feel connected together in a team, it will be very difficult for you to break that particular team, rather than being in a group. So because when you are in a group, the major objective is to satisfy your own personal objective, while the organizational objective is secondary to you. Then another thing that I may mention is respect. Every individual has something unique and special about them. So you must respect their opinions, you must respect their views, and some other things. Do you understand? So the next thing that I try to explain here, I made mention of why does diversity important in an organization? Why is it what? Why is it important in an organization? And I said your leadership sets the tone. That's the reason that you must embrace diversity. What do I mean by the leadership sets the tone? I made mention of the levels, 3 levels of that we have in every organization. I said we have strategic level, we have tactical level, and we have operational level. All the decisions from this level comes from the leaders. So that is why they are the ones that are saddled with the responsibility of setting the tone of the organization. Any decision that relates to getting another plant is from strategic decision. Hiring an employee is a strategic decision. Do you understand? So they are the ones that are saddled with the responsibility of setting the tone. That's the first one. Then the second one is your employees want to feel included. That is the reason why we talk about the acceptance the other time. So if you already feel, suppose that you are an employee in an organization and you feel underrepresented in everyday society, just whether you are a black, you are a female or non-binary, and that underrepresentation is even starker at the top level in your workplace. How can you expect to feel truly equal, included, and understood as an employee? It will be very difficult. So employees want to feel included. Try as much as possible to listen to the views of what? Of the employee. Another important reason why we need to embrace diversity in our organization is that your bottom line is at stake. What do I mean? Your bottom line is what? Is at stake. Diversity should be embraced in the sense that diversity brings positive influence on your bottom line. When you are talking about bottom line, we are talking about what you set to achieve. If there is no diversity in that particular organization, what you have set to achieve might fail. That's the reason why we have to embrace diversity in what? In the workplace. So now, having said that, we need to explain what organizational performance and workplace diversity is all about. When you are looking at diversity management is recognized in a contemporary human resource management as a key to improving organizational performance. Let me try to do something here so you'll be able to understand what workplace diversity means and what organizational performance is all about. From every organization, performance comes from two things. We have financial performance, and we have two, non-financial performance. Do you understand? When you are talking about organizational performance, those are the two things that you might think of. So the financial performance and non-financial performance. You know, every organization is set to achieve some objectives. And one of the major objectives of the organization is to achieve a particular level of profits. We call it profit maximization. So another objective is sales maximization. Do you understand? So another objective is customer retention, customer satisfaction. Do you understand? All these objectives are embedded in this performance. You know, when you have a children at home, a particular child at home, do you understand? And the child at the end of the day brought his or her card to you. You look at the card to measure his or her performance. Do you understand? So performance of every organization can be measured using financial performance and non-financial performance. When you are talking about financial performance, this is a metric measure. That is, you can be talking about the ROA, you can be talking about the ROCE, you can be talking about net profit margin, you can be talking about profitability. So this is return on assets. That is returns that you get from utilizing your assets. So this is return on capital employed. Do you understand? Returns on capital employed. This one is net profit margin. This one is profit. So now when you look at all these things, you can only get this financial performance from the organization annual reports. Do you understand? So you can get it. So merely looking at organization financial report, when you look at their ROA, that is return on asset, you should be able to know that this organization is performing well. When you are looking at their return on capital employed, you should be able to know whether the organization is performing well. Then the net profit margin. So those are the financial performance. But when you are talking about non-financial performance, you'll be talking about how to retain your customers. Customer retention, employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction. Do you really satisfy your employee? Do you really retain your customers? So those are the non-financial performance. So now, workplace diversity and organizational performance. How do we marry the two together? So since you have installed a very good diversity in your workplace, automatically it will enhance your organizational performance. That is the basic and simple analogy of this particular learning outcomes. Let us look at what this material is saying. When you take a diversity approach, you have the following benefits. When you take a diversity approach, you have the following benefits. One, being recognized as an employer of choice. Employer of choice in the sense that when you have 3 ethnic groups as your leadership structure, automatically you have a choice. Anybody that gives a better opinion should be what? Should be accepted. Do you understand? Then two, recruiting and retaining the best candidate from a broader talent pool. That is when you have a diverse approach. Do you understand? Since the retention, recruiting comes from the strategic level, automatically you have a good recruiting strategy. And you're able to retain the best candidate from a broader talent pool. Then reduced turnover. So better knowledge and understanding of the community we serve. Then provision of equal employment. Do you understand? In diverse nature, quality, inclusiveness, and what was cut across the entire satisfaction. Increase employee job satisfaction, recognition, and productivity. Taking a diverse approach, we enhance employee job satisfaction, their recognition, and the organizational productivity. Reduce absenteeism. That's the next one. Then increase capacity to innovate in a diverse marketplace. Then being recognized as responsive to diverse community. So those are the objectives that you can think of when you are talking about diversity in the workplace and taking a diverse approach. Then the next learning outcomes here that we can think of is leadership competency and for diversity. That is leadership competency for diversity. How do we measure whether a particular leader is competent? Looking at the race, ethnicity, religion is not enough. But we should be able to know whether the leaders are what? Are competent. That's one of the major problems we are experiencing in African countries. Do our leaders, do they really competent? Actually, we know that we have a diverse leadership structure, especially in federal, state, and local government structure, tiers of government. Do you understand? We have a diverse leaders. But the question is, do they really competent? So to be successful in today's market, company needs an extremely capable, flexible, and dedicated workforce. A flexible and an innovative management and the capability to hold on to develop talents. So for us to now accomplish this objective, the company needs a talented human resource department. That is why in functional areas of business, human resource department is the most important areas of every organization. Once you have a poor human resource department, automatically the organization is a jeopardy. So in addition to hiring the right people to carry out specific jobs, human resource managers have to build up dedication and allegiance among the workforce. Organization of different sizes, structures, and purpose increase their breadth of search, learning capability, and resource access, thereby reducing the threats of core rigidity in management. However, diverse organizations tend to have different goals, management styles, decision-making process, and systems that cause communication and coordination difficulties. So what they are trying to say here is that once you don't have a competent leadership, forget about diversity. Before you can install diversity in leadership structure, you must be able to understand the fact that are the leaders really competent? Are the leaders of diverse nature really what? Really competent? Are they competent leaders? If the answer is yes, automatically installing a diverse leadership structure will promote the organizational objectives and goals. So now, what are the benefits of having a competent leaders? Do you understand? Or let me just say that they have predicted 5 critical forces that will shape leadership competencies in the future. We have global competition. Our leaders must be able to compete globally. That is why we should have what is referred to as multinational of another country, the religions of another country, and you should be able to know the expertise that work together with you in different countries. So now global competition enhances leadership competencies. Then information technology, you know, we are in information age. Do you understand? I can conveniently stay here right now and talk to person in Uganda, or talk to person in Gambia, or talk to person in Canada conveniently. I can transfer business while I'm here in Nigeria with another person in what? In US. Because the world is a global village, and information technology has shaped the world into that level. So we have rapid and flexible organizations as well. So we have rapid and what? And flexible organization. Rapid and flexible organization is one of the critical forces that will shape leadership competencies. Then we have the teams. Then finally, we have defining employee needs. So those are the 5 critical forces that can shape leadership competencies. So among others, the team's latest study competencies were cultural empathy, cultural awareness, cultural understanding, respect for value, treating people as, as individuals, using different perspectives and experience in other cultures. Do you understand? Then another thing is learning of the job, communication competence, generic managerial skills, personal style. So those are the things that we need that will enhance or shape leadership competence. So having tried to understand what diversity in leadership structure is all about, we have tried to discuss what diversity simply means, then the keys that we put in place to manage diversity in leadership. Do you understand? And the reasons why we need to install diversity. So those are the things that we must try to understand. Do you understand? So if there's any questions, reactions, or comments, please do so before I ask my own questions. Thank you. Okay. Chile Vivian, you have the floor. Chile Vivian.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for the wonderful lecture. In fact, I really enjoyed it, sir.
Thank you.
Just that at some point you were not loud, you were not audible enough. I don't know if it's your speaker, sir, but it was really interesting, sir, I must confess. But please, sir, I just want you to please kindly repeat for us slowly the characteristics of good leadership. Please, slowly, so that we can put it down, sir, because it's not tabulated in our material, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I said something about, you know, the main point here is that we want to marry leaders and diversity. Do you understand? And for us to install diversity in any structure of an organization, we must have an effective leader. That's why we brought in competency in leadership. Do you understand? And I made mention of the traits or characteristics that you might find in leader. That is, for us to know that a particular person is an effective leader, that person must have the following characteristics. Number one, that person must be, or let me say, the person must be an highly proficient communicators. Highly proficient communicators. Or let's say the leaders are highly proficient communicators. That's number one. What I mean by highly proficient communicators is Chile Vivian. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, you muted me for a while. I couldn't speak out.
Is it my network or your own?
No, not mine. You muted me. I was trying to unmute myself, but it was telling me that
Okay.
you muted me.
I'm
But
trying to
now,
say that. Can you hear me? Can you hear what I'm
yes,
trying to
now I
explain?
can. Yes, yes, I heard
Okay.
everything,
So
sir.
I made
Thank you very
mention
much.
of highly proficient communicators. That is, the leaders must be highly proficient in their communication. Do you understand? So the second one is that they must be a critical thinkers. Do you understand? Then adept at decision making. Adept at what? Decision making and problem solving. A good leader must be able to solve any problems that comes to their way. A good leader must be able to make a sound decision making. And finally, a good leader must be highly efficient when it comes to running a team. So proficient communicators, critical thinkers, adept at decision making, problem solving skills, and highly efficient when it comes to running a team. Those are the characteristics of a good leader. I think I've answered your question. So, Ramatu Murtala.
Thank you so much, sir. Good morning, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Please, you are audible. I can hear you very clearly.
All right, sir. Please, I need the benefits of a competence leader, the benefits of competence leader, sir.
The benefit of what?
The competence leader.
Competence leader.
Yes, sir.
When you are talking about the benefit of competent leaders, two things must come to your way. The first thing is, when you are a leader and you are competent, do you understand? You are now a competent leader. Is it for the organization or for your own personal benefit? That's the two things. The benefit for being a competent leader has two legs. The first leg is benefit to the organization. Then the second one is benefit to self. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to pass across. No, benefit to the organization now. It might be in terms of what? Performance, which I've explained. In terms of performance, to the essence that, is it financial performance you are talking about or non-financial performance? When you're a competent leader, you should be able to make a right decision. You should be able to retain your customers. You should be able to retain your employees. You should be able to retain to satisfy your customers, and you should be able to satisfy your employees, and you should be able to maintain the profit level of the organization. So those are the benefits to the what? To the organization. Now to the self, that is to the person that is that competent leader. What are the benefits of being a competent to oneself? So now, so many benefits that you can think of. Number one, if you are a competent leader, your promotion will be smooth. Smooth in the sense that you have a very level of what? Promotion throughout, because you are a competent leader, you take no stone unturned, automatically your promotion will be what? Will be smooth. Then the next thing is, if the organizations deem it fit to compensate a competent leader, which is what is paramount. If the organization deem it fit to compensate the competent leader, the leader's son or children might be sponsored abroad in a scholarship style. Do you understand? So the children of that particular leader that is competent might be what? Might be sponsored abroad. Another thing is, if you're a competent leader, you have access to many trainings, both on the job and off the job trainings. Do you understand? So those are you can think of many benefits of being a competent of competent leader. So alongside with what is in your what is in your handout. Thank you. Number 2, are you satisfied? Hello. Okay. Awodele Samuel. Awodele Samuel. You have the floor.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Hello.
you. Thank you for the beautiful lecture, sir. My question is it always good, or is it always okay to use a democratic structure of leadership on resolving every issue that occur in day-to-day activities? Or we mix all the
Okay, if I can hear your questions clearly. Awodele.
Okay, sir. My question is, yes, sir.
Okay.
Is it
Go on.
approachable, or is it always good to use democratic principle in resolving every issues as regard to leadership in society?
Hello, is that all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, before I answer your question, I want to go back to what Ramatu asked the other time about the benefit of a competent leader. Don't make that mistake. In your handout, what is there is when you take a diverse approach, what are the benefits? It's quite different from being a competent leader. What are the benefits? Do you understand? Get the two approach clearly. Taking a diverse approach is quite different from being a competent leader. So being a competent leader, what are the benefits? Yes, I've explained the benefit to the organization and benefit to oneself. But when you take a diverse approach, what are the benefits? Those are the benefits that you can think of in your handout. Being recognized as an employer of choice, recruiting and retaining the do you understand? Those are so that's what I want to say. So you should not be confusing the two. Then your question now is, you said, is it always good to have to use a demographic choice in resolving issues? When you are talking about organization, I will say it's always good. And I'll give my answers in 2 folds. The first fold is when you are talking about organization, you must use demographic characteristics in resolving issues. What do I mean? You know, in every organization, we have executives and we have decision-making process, the process of making decision. If there is an issue in that particular organization, there is a laid down principles that we must follow before we can resolve that particular issues. What do I mean by laid down principles? Maybe we have diverse ways of resolving issues in an organization. When there is an issue, the executives will try to organize a committee to look into that issues. Some people might think that, oh, this is the issue. Okay, let the executives resolve the issues. Do you understand? We have diverse way of managing issues in an organization. But the most important thing is when you have an issue, if that issue is religious, do you understand? If it is religious, involve all demographic characteristics in solving that issues. Because if it is religious and you exclude the religious involved, there may be an issue. But if it is just an organizational problems, you understand? Look at that you normally that particular organization, whether you dominate a committee or you let issues to be solved by what? By the executives. But when you're not talking about the organization, you are talking about the generality of resolving issues. If what is it called? If there's a problem between, if there's a religious crisis, let me just put it like that. If there's a religious crisis and you want to resolve that issues, the most important thing is you must set up leaders from different areas of that particular environment. Let's take for instance, there's a religious crisis in Nigeria. Do you understand? If you want to set up a committee, religious leaders must be there. All the religious leaders, whether Muslim, Christian, or otherwise. Do you understand? That's one. Then representative from the federal government, representative from the state, then representative from the what? Local government. Those are the ways to resolve issues when you are talking about generality of general problems, in short. Do you understand? So that is because when you are talking about diversity, experience, perspective, the way you relate, we facilitate, or let me say, we enhance that particular issues to be solved on time. And those people that have an experience, they are the religious leaders. Those people that have an experience, they are the representatives from the federal government, representatives from the state government, and representatives from what? From the local government. Let's assume something happened in Ogbomoso. You must involve the local government chairman. The state must be there. The representative from the federal government must be there. You understand? So that's how to resolve issues. So, but when you're talking about organization has a laid down principles to resolve issues. And in their laid down principles, they must ensure that demographic characteristics of leaders must be involved, unless that organization does not have a diverse structure in their leadership style and structure. Thank you. LODLC Samuel.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Hope it's clear.
Thank you. It's clear.
So Gabriel Ashinya. Gabriel, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Me, I cannot hear you. If anybody hears you, please.
We don't have this particular section on our handout. What are we going to do?
I can't hear you. Check your network. Can you hear me, please? Or you type your question on the chat. Type your question. Type your question. Any other questions, reactions, comments before we call it a day? Aderoju Kayode. Adewale LODLC Samuel. Do you still have another
Good morning,
question?
sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm with you.
My name is Aderoju Kayode. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, sir. But my complaint is this: and I need your assistance. I tried all my efforts yesterday to join the class, but I was not able to join the class. And it not only me that it affects. I don't know if, sir, if you can help us to recap the study session 1 and 2. So thank you, sir. That's my.
So, Aderoju Kayode, let me just try to say this. There's no need to recap the study session 1 and 2. The reason is this. Very soon, before Friday, you have all the lectures on your LMS. You can go on and on to listen to the lecture again. Do you understand? There's no need to recap the lectures again. So we try as much as possible to put all the lectures on the LMS because they are all recorded. Is that clear? LODLC Samuel, you raise your hand again. Ojura Hassan, do you have any question?
In fact.
So in the absence of questions, reactions, comments, I think this is the best time for us to halt today's lecture. LODLC Samuel, do you have any question? Sir, please, examples of non-financial performance. I said it the other time. Non-financial performance is a non-metric measurement. You cannot measure them. That is why they are always qualitative in nature. So an example of non-financial performance is customer retention, customer satisfaction. Do you understand? Employee retention, employee satisfaction. That is, if you look at employee satisfaction, for instance, do the organization really satisfy their employees? If you look at that particular thing, it's not financial in nature. It's not quantitative in nature. Do you understand? You can only know by using questionnaire. So you pass across questionnaire to the employees of the organization. Ogbodogbo, ask your question. Ogbodogbo.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Under financial performance, sir.
Yes.
You talked about, you wrote something ROCE and NPM. I don't understand those.
ROA, that is ROA, return on assets. Return on assets. What return on assets simply means that you have an asset. Look at this building, for instance. Let's assume this is an organization. Yes, look at this building. This building is an example of fixed asset or non-current asset of the organization. Thereby, the organization is using these assets to generate money. Do you understand? So now, if the organization is using this asset to generate money, automatically, the money generated by this building is the return. Do you understand? So why this building is the what? Asset. Return on assets. Then we have ROCE, return on capital employed. Returns on capital employed. That is all the capital that you employ in that organization. What are the returns that you generated from them? Then we have net profit margin. You know what profit simply means. Do you understand? Net profit margin. So those are the financial performance.
All right, thank you,
sir. Is that clear?
Very well, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other question, please? So I think in the absence of questions, reactions, comments, this is the best time for all to stop. So thank you. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye till we meet tomorrow by God's grace. Bye. Chiege Ucheru, you want to draw us back?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture, sir. What I want to, you made mention of your own question. You can throw your own question now so that we can attempt it, as you said earlier. Thank you, sir.
Chege, I can't hear you.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for the wonderful lecture.
Thank you too.
My own is that you say you want to ask us a question, and we want to end the lecture now. So we need the question from you.
Actually, the
Thank you,
question
sir.
I meant the other time is that after this lecture, I would give you a quiz, an assignment on the elements. That is the question I meant. But if that is the case, let me try to throw at least 2 or 3 questions for us here. Do you understand? And we stop the class after satisfied with the response of the questions. Number 1, when you are talking about an effective leaders, we know that an effective leaders must have some certain characteristics. Do you understand? What are the challenges? What are the challenges that an effective leaders will face in an organization? I'm listening. That's the first one. I'm listening now. Let me unmute everyone so everyone will have access to talk. So you can unmute yourself and talk.
Hello, sir.
Felicia Obada. Felicia Obada, you have the floor. Good. Effective leader can face political or organizational challenges. Thank you. That's a very good point.
Hello,
That's
sir.
a very good point. Hello.
Good morning, sir, and thank you very much, sir, for the lecture.
So one of the challenges is internal rank.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, sir. One of the challenges that an effective leader may face is acceptance.
Okay, that is it.
Yes, the leader, being a diverse leader, his opinions or his suggestions may not be easily accepted by others. Another one is connectivity. If there is no connectivity among them in the group, where everyone is not working to the organizational goal, there is that tendency that every one of them is working only to satisfy his own personal interest. So the leader, in an attempt to connect will find it difficult where there is that connectivity is not there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Felicia Obada. You really made a very good point. And if you look at the charts, people are making a fantastic point. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. So you have really captured the whole of the response for that particular question. So my second question is this. What do you understand by broad gender diversity? Broad gender diversity.
Board.
Gender diversity. B-O-R-D. B-O-A-R-D. Board. B-O-A-R-D. Board executives. Board gender diversity.
Okay. Board
gender diversity.
Gender diversity.
Nobody?
That is then.
Hello, sir. My hand is still up. Felicia Obada.
Okay. Go ahead.
Board gender diversity may mean that in the board, the board of trustee or the board or the governing council is composed of both gender are where the represented in the board.
Thank you. So where every gender is carried along, thank you. That's another response. So in a simple term, board gender diversity simply means the ratio of female to male on the board of directors. So the board of directors of every organization, you look at the ratio of male and ratio of female to what? To male. So that's what we mean by board gender diversity. And the two gender must be what? Must be involved in the affairs of the organization. Thank you. So I think let's leave it here. So try as much as possible to look at the handouts critically.
Sir, please answer the first question, sir. Hello, sir. Please give us the exact answer to that first question you gave us, sir.
Yes, answered now.
You know, we all, yes, different people gave their own views and their answers, but we want to get the answer from you, sir.
So actually, that's why I said, at least if you look at the chart, people are saying so many things. You know, when you are talking about the challenges, somebody has said acceptance, connections, and some other things might affect another important challenge that face an effective leader. Pressure and critics from subordinates might also be a challenge that may affect an effective leader. If there is an internal crisis in the organization, it may affect an effectiveness. So that those are the challenges that the effective leader might face. So thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So thank you everybody. So we meet tomorrow by God's grace. Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.